Hello guys, and welcome to Till Vacuum Do Us Part, and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be sharing tips on decorating your home in the organic modern style, but on budget. So I'm going to be showing you where to shop, what products to look for. Say you're here and you're like, I love your style, but what is organic modern? I'm going to tell you what that is right now. So the organic modern design often starts with a foundation of clean lines, rounded shapes, smooth surfaces. I also find it's very minimal. There's not a lot of clutter. There's not a lot of stuff. But the materials they use are natural, like reclaimed wood, stone, leather, linen, metal, concrete, to introduce texture with an organic feel to it. So while I was scrolling through Pinterest, I came across some pictures and I noticed they were all looking alike, but I didn't know what the style was called. So I reached out to Instagram and someone was like, it's organic modern, which made complete sense to me, and I've loved it ever since. And you guys are really loving it too, as I slowly change the looks in my house. So I wanted to give you this video on ways to do it on a budget, because it can be a very pricey style to pull off if you're not careful. So I'm going to be showing you several different pieces and how you can use those pieces in different ways to create different looks, but it still be organic modern. These are the three pieces I'm going to be styling for you first, and they're all from Walmart. They're from the Dave and Jenny brand. I am loving this. They teamed up with Dave and Jenny to create these pieces, and they are perfect for the organic modern style. So if you know Walmart, you know you're going to be getting amazing quality pieces that are very affordable. So I feel like it saves you money so you can live bigger, bolder, better, whatever for less. And I feel like you can absolutely do that at Walmart. And I do want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so the first piece we're going to talk about, I'm going to style for you, is this little stand right here. Most of you are going to think kitchen, but you can use this so many different places. So that's why I wanted to show you just tips for decorating. You got to think outside the box. This line from Dave and Jenny is amazing. I love their show. It's called Fixer to Fabulous. They've created their whole line with Walmart, and it is very organic modern. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But let me show you some different ways that I would use this piece in my home. The first place I'm going to style it for you is on my coffee table, but this would look good on any table in your home. So even your dining table, which I'm going to show you here in a second, but I feel like it would look great on an entryway table. I only have a bench right now, so I couldn't stage it there for you, but I think it would look really nice with like a candle, a small plant, maybe a family photo. It looks super high end, but it's very affordable and the quality is amazing. If you've been out in stores lately, this is all the trend right now. This light oak wood is really coming in, but from what I've noticed, the prices are crazy. So I love when I can just go to Walmart and find the pieces I need, or order it from my app and have it shipped straight to my house, and it's all on a budget. So you don't have to make a ton of money. You don't have to have this huge budget to make it work. You've just got to do some shopping and use the pieces creatively in your home, and you're going to get that designer look for way less. Spending less does not mean you have to have a less beautiful house or less things. Chase has always talked about how he's not impressed how much people can spend. He's always impressed by how much people can save. And so I feel like Walmart is a place you can do that. You can have really nice things and not break the bank. So I loved that last setup so much. I left it there. I think it's the perfect spot for it. So the next piece we're going to talk about is more of like a cake platter stand. So you can see, once again, it's got that really light wood. This one's really cool though, because it has this nice stand on here. It's very organic because of the design. If you see, it's not like a perfect round circle, and that's what I love about it. But what I also love is you can use this as a cake stand. You can use this in all the ways I mentioned with the other one, but this one I feel like you can flip, because this is a bowl. So you could put any type of cheese dip in here, guacamole, you could add some like chips or bread around the edges. So basically to me, it's like a 2-for-1, and I just absolutely love, love, love the color, the shape, and the design, and everything about this piece. So as you can see, when it comes to the Organic Modern, it's all like earthy, kind of natural products. I'm using a lot of woods. You can use a lot of like concrete, stuff like that. These boards are perfect, and I'll show you how I style them. But the first way, you can just use it for decoration. I always have them leaned up. It kind of breaks up, like if you have an all white kitchen like I do. I have white cabinets, I have white countertops, and I have white backsplash. Just by putting up some wood pieces, it really does just warm it up. So I'll show you how I style these in my kitchen. There are many, many things you can do with cutting boards. The first one is just leaning it up against your backsplash. You can do this with other cutting boards. You can do it with a picture, with plants, whatever, but they're just really nice decor and warm up the space. You can also use them as a cutting board. So you can lean them up in your kitchen and then pull them down when you need them, just so you can slice whatever you're gonna be cutting. You can also use them to host with. I love making these cheese boards. They just look really nice, and people can just pick at them and snack all evening, and they make such different sizes. Like if you're having a huge party, they make huge boards, but they also make small ones if you're just gonna have a few people over. So I really love using these. So I do want to thank Walmart again for sponsoring today's video. If you like these products or anything else you see in the video, I'm gonna have all their links down below in my description box. So now that we learned how to kind of like decorate and use the pieces in our kitchen, we're going to talk about all the other rooms, like the living room, your office, bedrooms, stuff like that. And a piece that I recently found on Walmart is a poof, and I have used this piece everywhere in my house. So I feel like it's one of those pieces you're going to get a lot of use out of. So let me show you the way that I use mine. I love my poof in front of my desk, so I do a lot of editing at my desk, so I'm here for hours at a time, and I really like propping up my feet, so I typically have it at my desk, but I've also used it over here in this corner. I feel like they're really good if you just have that empty corner, but you feel like it needs something, but you don't want to like clutter it up. You can just throw a poof there, and it just adds a little something. The other place I've had it before is right here in front of my fireplace. Now you could add like a throw next to it or a pillow, but I just love the simplicity of just like putting it right there. It adds a little bit, but it's not too much. Poofs are really good to put under benches and even like entryway tables, and they're good about kind of camouflaging the outlets on the wall. Even if I don't have anything plugged in, I don't just love staring at outlets, so it's just a good way to add some texture and to hide those outlets you don't want to see. There are just so many different ways to style a poof. That's why I love them. They can be a little pricey, but once again, I walked in and found that one at Walmart, and I was over the moon because it was so well priced. I can use it in so many different spaces in my house, and I feel like you can use it in so many different styles. So you don't have to be Organic Modern to buy that piece and to style it in your home. But the next room I kind of wanted to talk about is my bedroom, because I am currently loving it so much. I feel like once I figured out my style was Organic Modern, I finally like nailed it down, and I've loved it because I've changed this room so many times. So let me tell you some tips that I learned along the way, just to pull it all together. I think one of the reasons that I'm so drawn to this style is it's just very calming to me. So if you notice, there's not a lot of patterns, but there is a lot of texture to bring in that interest. So if you're not gonna have colors and patterns, you have to still find a way to bring in some interest. And for me, that's like my tufted bed. That's my rug that has like a texture to it. Even my blanket up here, I know you can't tell, but up close, it's got like a nice knit to it. And then I love adding pops of green with my trees. As you can see, it's another like, looks like concrete. It's not, but I love adding that element in. And then white bedding I think is perfect for this look. It's so calming, it's so clean. Also, if you're gonna spend money, it's just a nice way to spend it, because no matter how I decorate my space, I can work it around my white bedding. I can add on different color pillows. I can add on a different color blanket. It's just really easy and versatile, so keep that in mind. I did not too long ago add this black fireplace in here, which is probably a bold statement for organic modern, but that's my twist on it. So you don't have to follow the rules to the T. Figure out the elements that you like and then add your own flair into it, and that's what's gonna make you love your space. And just to touch on a few more points, I kind of want to show you. I have a lot of wood in here. I have wood doors, I have wood nightstands, I have wood shades up here, I have wood candlesticks, but then I bring in a little bit of glam with some touches of gold. I even have our wicker light up here. I bring in the element of concrete over there, and then the rest are just all neutrals with a few pops of green, which would be like the tree and the plant over there. This style is very simple, very calming, and it's just very minimal. So if you want to add some coziness in, which I like, I don't want to come in and feel like super cold and just like the hospital feel, but what you can do is add a lot of like baskets with pillows in them or throws. I have throws everywhere in my house. It's like on every bed, every chair, everything. Or there's a pillow. I feel like on every chair there's either a pillow or a throw, and I feel like it really warms up the space, especially this time of year. If you're like getting colder outside, fall's coming, winter's coming. I even leave blankets out in the summertime because I feel like my house gets cold and I just love the warmth of it. But with this style, there is a lot of like whites and grays. So to warm it up, I feel like wood tones are best, and then those cozy blankets and pillows. I'll show you a few clips in my house so you can see how I stage that throughout my home. Let's talk about this area real fast, because if you notice, this is just a bunch of neutrals. There's no black in here, there's no color, so you really have to play up with texture. And how I did that was with the wood chairs. Even on the chairs, there's texture on the seat. I added these placemats for a little texture, and then I added pillows as well. I found these at Walmart. It is so hard to find nice quality pillows right now that aren't super expensive, and I'm always super impressed when I check out Walmart. So if you're needing something like this, they're not like this huge bold statement, but they still make a huge impact, and I just love them and I love the quality. I've had these a while. They've held up so well. And then just for a little bit of color, I added the plant right there. And to me, I know this may not be everybody's cup of tea, but to me this is so calming and so beautiful, and it still has a lot of interest without it being super crazy. Here is the look just a little further back, so you can see I have a lot of neutrals, a lot of whites, a lot of grays, a lot of creams, and then I add in those wood tones once again for warmth. I always have a green plant in every room, and then I also add a little touch of gold for glam. I'm not huge into glam, but I like just the gold to kind of soften it and bring it in. And then there is my fireplace right there. Another tip I really like to do is add black to almost every space in my home. It's not everywhere, but I do like touches of black. I feel like it's really grounding. I feel like it makes a statement, but you don't need a lot of it. So a way I do that in my house is through picture frames. Plus it just like pulls your eye in, so there's not black anywhere else. It makes you really focus in on those pictures. You can use family photos. I like to turn all mine into black and white photos just so it doesn't take away from the rest of the design. Another thing I like to do in my dining room is we printed off our favorite vacation spots. And so I'll show you a clip here in a second. That way, every day, even when we're not on vacation, we can look up and see those beautiful places we like to visit. I will say my photos and frames go a little bit more modern, and so that plays up the modern side of modern or organic modern. So you'll see I have a lot of sharp edges in different places on frames and throughout my house. That's the modern part, and then the organic is more of the neutrals, the woods, the earthy tones, and all of that. Another way to add black is through your furniture pieces. So like our bar stools have black legs, and I know a lot of furniture looks like that now. You can also just paint an accent wall black. It's super easy to do and very affordable. We even painted our fireplace black just for that extra pop. And then if you're not wanting that much black in our bedroom, we just added mirrors that had a really thin black piece of trim. I've kind of touched on this tip already, but I just want to push it just a little bit more, and it's to really focus in on textures. Otherwise, your space is going to get very boring quickly, and I know that, and it's because I did it the hard way. It was before I was here on YouTube. It was our first house. I didn't even know what YouTube was, but that was the house that I realized I didn't want color anymore, that when I took color out, it was so calming to me, but I just put a lot of white stuff in that had no texture, and it was so boring and so like cheap looking. So what I've learned along the way is just to add a lot of textures. Even if you want a solid white house, make sure you're just finding really cool pieces to put in there that just add interest to your home. And so I'm going to take you through my home now and show you ways that I did that, just so it gives you some inspo or ideas how to do it. I'm really loving the texture and designs they're adding to wood pieces just to add a little bit of interest. Another thing you can do is find like a hand towel or a bath towel that has tassels on it. I have tons of like white and ivory pillows in my house, but I make sure they have some type of design or texture on them. And then another good way is like through your vases. Make sure they have some type of design or texture on them as well. We even added just a little bit of details to our walls. I didn't want a lot up there, but just adding some picture frame molding added some texture to the wall as well. Okay guys, so that is a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned some tips or tricks. I hope you learned that you don't have to have this massive budget to create this space that you love. Create it now on the budget you have. And if you Walmart, you know you can get high quality pieces for very affordable prices. And that's why I love shopping there. So thanks again to Walmart for sponsoring today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I did want to let you know that my next video is going to be going up on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. So make sure you have that notification bell turned on and check all notifications so you'll be notified when I post, even if it's not on my typical day and time. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
it's the end. Can't shake it off. Can't just be friends. I know there's love somewhere here. I know it's us. Don't disappear. All the while I see you. Know that I still need you. Hope that I don't see through us. Be what you need. I'll be the one. I'll set you free.